Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic. Two things you see within 5 to 6 games of a new franchise quarterback: clear red flags and excellent traits. So I always use the example of The Voice or of American Has Talent or American Idol. I don't know much about music other than I enjoy it, but I can see within 3 to 4 notes, literally 12 seconds, hack and great. Figuring out lounge singer to successful lounge singer, good is hard. Justin Fields could be good, but good is very hard to decipher because the difference between good and great is consistency. You got very few bad games from Mahomes, whereas Russell Wilson now is at the point where, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's awful. Same with Justin Fields. So I think good is hard to decipher. I think awful and great are pretty easy. You can see a draft pick in the NBA. You're like, yeah, that's like James Wiseman. I'm watching with the Warriors, like second year. I'm like, he's never going to be a star in this league. It is Ant, first year, all-star break. You're like, yeah, that's going to work. Jason Tatum.
Sure.
Jason Tatum, even rookie year, Jason Tatum. You're like, yeah, that's going to work. He's going to get better. So I look at Caleb and Jayden Daniels and to a lesser degree, Bo Nix. And I'm like, yep, those are franchise guys. Whereas Justin Fields was 1 step forward, 2 back, Caleb just keeps getting better. Clearly takes the coach. Jayden Daniels, he's Lamar Jackson, but better in the pocket as a rookie. Bo Nix has a lower ceiling, less of an arm, reads the field, more mobile than anybody that didn't watch Oregon Duck games really realizes. He's actually really mobile.
Yep.
Barks right back at Sean Payton. Not a follower, total leader, confrontational. And I feel now, Bo has the less talent. He's in a division with Harbaugh and Andy Reid. Like, it's a tough draw. But my take is Caleb, Jayden, Bo. These are franchise quarterbacks. I have no fear saying, yeah, this is what it looks like.
So I want to ask you 2 quick questions before I give you my full response to it. One, or I guess this would be a small response. Do you think the NBA? I don't think the NBA comparison is fair because in the NBA, it is so purely a talent sport that talent can overcome situation. Like John Morant goes to Memphis, doesn't matter. Like the franchise, Anthony Edwards goes to Minnesota, doesn't matter the franchise. Like your talent will always win out in the NBA. You might not win big if you don't have a good organization, but you can be a 10-time All-Star on a bad franchise and make an impact in the NBA. In football, I do think situation, coaching, offensive line, talent around you, it is so situational that I find it much easier to make a snap judgment in basketball than I do in football. And then I guess the quick question I'd get back to you is, what did you say about RG3? Because his rookie year was historic.
So that's good.
Derailed by injury, sure, but I feel like we could have said a lot of the things we said about Jayden about RG3.
Okay, so I said during RG3's rookie year, I said Luck's the better quarterback. But RG3 is more fun to watch, and voters are suckers for artistry. NBA voters, Westbrook, he has bad handles and can't shoot. Right. Derrick Rose couldn't shoot, spindly, ended up getting hurt a lot. So I think RG3 pleased the eye, but I didn't think it was nearly as sustainable. I thought Andrew Luck was bigger, stronger. Jesus, the kid went to Stanford. He memorized a playbook, according to Kobe Fleener, who also went to Stanford, in 2 days. It's so I never bought into
crazy, but RG3 was rookie of the year.
Right. I didn't buy it.
So you didn't buy it, and you buy something with Jayden that you did not buy with RG3.
Oh, I think Jayden, I said with RG3, I think he's talented, but he was thin. I said Andrew Luck's the better player. So Jayden is better in the pocket than RG3. I think they're both equally twitchy, but was a real sell for me on Jayden Daniels. And this almost never happens. Almost as a rule, when you have a rookie quarterback, the coaching staff says, hey, be patient. This is a process.
Right.
Literally, Dan Quinn, a defensive coach, was like, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, they literally in camp couldn't. Brian Kelly's like, the kid's magic. Brian Kelly runs through quarterbacks at Notre Dame. I think he had 6 at one point in like 5 years. So part of it was I watched a lot of his games. Second, the people I trusted, Cliff Kingsbury, Steve Keim, who hired him as a friend, he was like, no, Colin, this kid, Cliff can't even, like, it's Kyler with more maturity, better in the pocket, and I like Kyler. So I've had good sourcing on Jayden, and I totally buy it.
Okay. So Jayden to me is incredibly impressive. I was not as sold. I certainly was not as sourced on him as you were. It was hard for me with how slender he was and how much talent was around him
Yeah.
to say for sure that it would translate. Like I loved Drake Maye coming out of college. I had him
Yeah.
actually above Jayden. Some of the games I watched, I was like, this guy's doing more with less, tough as hell, crazy athlete, youngest brother, comes from a family of athletes, like overachieved his situation. And Jayden Daniels has blown me away. I think every piece of hype that he's gotten has been totally, totally valid. I do think there is an element of some of his production is based on running the football. And that works, obviously. Lamar Jackson's got a couple of MVPs, but it's not the type of thing that ages particularly well. Like we haven't seen that quarterback in their 30s. Like it's a depreciating asset. At some
Right.
point, you need to just be great from the pocket. And he's been great from the pocket. So I'm not saying he can't be that. But if his comp is Lamar Jackson and Caleb Williams's comp is Aaron Rodgers, if we did a redraft tomorrow, I would still take Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
I think the skill set is actually more sustainable and allows for a higher
Well,
ceiling.
yeah. So I would too.
You would, okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I
But
don't think that's a majority opinion anymore.
yeah, no, I think Caleb, I use this word a lot. People think it's weird. Caleb's thicker and trunkier. He's a
Okay.
big, thick athlete. If you're
Yeah.
stand around him, you're like ass, legs, shoulders. He's just big. Jayden
Yeah.
is more spindly. That always worries me. But saying I would take Caleb over Jayden is like saying I would take vanilla ice cream over chocolate or whatever. Like I like them both. And if
Yeah.
I don't care, I don't care.
No, and I listen, it's possible. People at the beginning, people wanted to make this because Caleb had a bad couple of games and Shane Waldron had an awful adjustment to Chicago. People were immediately running to it's like people have the memory of one day, 1 minute. Like it has to be CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. I'm like, are you guys crazy? It like that is so stupid. Like it's very possible that this draft ends up being
By the
Eli,
way,
Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers.
how about this?
All three awesome quarterbacks, all three franchises and fan bases are thrilled with their guy.
Danny, you don't have to go back that far. Herbert, Burrow, Hurts, Tua.
Right.
That was just like 4 or 5 years ago. We had an incredible draft.
Yeah. And so I think that that is certainly what is in play here because Bo Nix and Jayden have far exceeded what my expectations were for them coming into the draft. And I'll be honest, it was one game. I thought Drake Maye was going to get killed last Sunday.
Yeah.
With 6 offensive line combinations in 6 games, no offensive weapons to speak of, defensive head coach. They were sitting him for a reason. Then it felt like going up against Houston's pass rush, which the Patriots led the league in pressures allowed, and the Texans led the league in pressure percentage generated. I was like, this is a terrible matchup. Why are they doing this? And he acquitted himself beautifully, I thought, in the game. One of the stories of the season to me is how these rookie quarterbacks are playing so well. But also, if you just look at completion percentage in the NFL right now, 15th in the NFL, 15th is Will Levis, who's completing 66% of his passes. It's not that long ago that was top 3 in the NFL or even something that would lead the league.
Yeah.
So I think what has happened, and this is a much better podcast topic than TV show topic. I think that analytics and the smart people in football have figured out that conservative passing is so valuable. Is it an extension of the run game? and young quarterbacks can do it. And young quarterbacks are cheap quarterbacks. And we know that's where the market inefficiency is. So it's never been easier to be successful as a young quarterback because the passing game is now more left and right than vertical. And in baseball and basketball, the analytics revolution has rewarded the high variance plays, go for a home run, shoot a three-pointer. So analytics in those sports has actually injected like the more difficult skill set. Whereas analytics in football, don't take risks. Don't throw the ball down the field. Don't force it. Just matriculate. We'll go for it on fourth down. 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards is fine. And just get the ball out quick. Don't take hits. Execute the easy pass. And so you're seeing, I mean, Jayden Daniels is completing 75% of his passes. That is, he deserves credit, and he does have some big plays to him. So he's not just thinking and dunking. But that number makes no sense. 7 years ago, we would have been like, that's not going to happen. And so I think that coaches have gotten so much smarter at cultivating an offense where young guys can have a high floor early, that it makes it more difficult for me to evaluate their ceiling because I think the floor has been raised so significantly.